Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another third-party unlicensed 1/6 scale figure unboxing and review video. Now today we are taking a look at none other than the Toys Era Galaxy Warlord, aka Ronan The Accuser from the first Guardians of the Galaxy film. Now I personally have been super excited to receive this guy ever since Toys Era announced him. Toys Era has a pretty good track record when it comes to delivering fantastic villain releases, so fingers crossed this guy is equally as good as their Doc Ock and Green Goblin figures, because those were awesome. Now if you are looking to get this guy, I got mine from Comic Sanctorum, but do bear in mind this is an unofficial product. This is also not a promotional video, this is a review on a figure I picked up for my own personal collection. What we are going to do now though is get the box laying flat in the light box and do the unboxing. Here of course we have the box art for Ronan. It's literally as simple as you can get. It's a black box with a glossy silhouette of his face on the front there. We do have Galaxy Warlord down below in the Guardians of the Galaxy font. Then all of the legal information is housed within this ship window. Maybe that's the main window of his ship. Do let me know if you know down below. Now I personally am a big fan of Lee Pace. He has this very imposing presence on screen, so he was a perfect casting choice for Ronan the Accuser. Now you do get an instruction manual up top, letting you know that you do require a type of battery that you absolutely do not already have, and it's very hard to find. Unfortunately, I personally wasn't able to procure one. But here we have Ronan himself. Interestingly enough, there's no plastic on this guy. Usually when we get even third-party figures, the hands, the feet, and the face sculpt are all wrapped in plastic. I haven't opened this prior to filming this video, so who knows, maybe yours will come like this as well. Either way, first in-hand impressions are very positive. This might just be one of the most intricate outfits that I've seen from Toys Era in a while. Now he does come with 1 and 2 trays, so what we are going to do now is get all of his accessories laid out in the light box and take a closer look at everything he comes with. Here we have all the parts and pieces that go with Ronan. Now as you can see, you don't get a ton of stuff here. The real bang for your buck is in the figure himself, which hopefully you'll see when we bring him out here. Now starting off with the display base first, it's super simple, yet very effective. This is the modern day Hot Toys rectangular style display base. Luckily, there's no printing or nameplate on the front. You don't have to worry about Galaxy Warlord being printed on there, which to me is definitely a win. You also have this very simple yet very classy Galaxy style print on the top. It definitely gets the job done. Now you also get a regular crotch grabber to go with the base. Now he only comes with one real accessory, and it's his LED light-up hammer. Now unfortunately, as I said just a second ago, I wasn't able to find that very obscure battery, so hopefully you'll have more luck than me. But the hammer itself, even when it's not lit up, looks pretty darn good. The sculpt is very simple, just like it was in the film, but I'm pleased to report the entire staff section is made of die-cast. It's very heavy, it feels super high quality, and you can definitely tell it has that die-cast metallic sheen. Now the top part is made of plastic because the LED has to shine through where the Power Stone would be, but that doesn't really make this any worse. In fact, I think that actually makes it a little bit better. If the top, this big hunk, was made of metal, it would be very top heavy. So luckily it's just the staff part, so it's nicely balanced. Now they've done an amazing job on the paint applications for the skin on the hands. There is a ton of texture here. There are a couple of different layers of paint, so it does look like blue skin. I'm very impressed with the paint applications on these hands, which Usually with third-party figures they don't do an amazing job, but luckily Toysera has spared no expense here. What we are going to do now though is get Ronan himself out here and take a closer look. Here we have him standing straight up and down in the light box, no crazy poses or accessories or anything like that. And this guy looks like a total badass. He's super imposing, he's a big beefy villain for the shelf. Now one thing that they absolutely nailed here was the body choice. I'm not exactly sure which one they went with, but it is a little bit taller and still very muscular at the same time. The proportions look fantastic. And then the outfit over the top is super well done. The various different panels come together to make a fully armored outfit, yet he still does have a fairly decent range of motion. It's not perfect and he's not going to be doing Spidey style posing, but it's still more than enough. What we are going to do now though is take him off the rotating turntable, punch in and take a closer look at the details. Here we have him up close and personal. Now to be totally honest with you, I didn't really know what to expect from Ronan here. Toysera has a proven track record at this point of taking very intricate Hollywood costume design and turning it into a fantastic figure. But never quite like this. Usually they'll take a rubbery suit, just like you're seeing for Ronan, and just print all the surface on top, and then that gives you the illusion of a bunch of surface detail. But for Ronan, they absolutely couldn't do that. They had to make a bunch of integrated parts and panels that all come together to create a very seamless look, and also not look overly bulky at the same time. The proportions on Ronan look fantastic. I mean, Lee Pace is a pretty built and tall dude. He comes in at 6'5", so they had to make him look quite tall and also quite muscular, and I'm definitely getting that from the build of this figure. Now, starting off with the head sculpt, it looks awesome. It's definitely Ronan the Accuser. I love the expression, it's stern and serious. There is a ton of texture sculpted into the black sections, and the blue of the skin is very nicely painted. So yeah, I'm very impressed with the sculpt. Now they had to do something very unique here for this hood/shroud section. It's one solid hunk, so you will see how that affects articulation a little bit later in the video, but I do like that various panels are missing from the back. This outfit has definitely seen some battles, and that's why the front is also battle damaged. You can see some scratches and scuffs. There are the red sections painted on the front there. Then on the back, there is dirt and grime on this multi-segmented cape. This is actually something that I never knew he had, but I'm very impressed with how it lays. It's just a rubbery style plastic, but it hangs straight down and pretty much doesn't get in the way at all, while adding a little bit of flair to the back of Ronan. Now coming down to the legs, we have these two panels which kind of stick out the front. This is a rubbery style overlay, there's a little bit of a shininess to it, and it looks fantastic. It does stick out slightly too far for my personal liking, but trust me, you can futz around with it and get it to sit down and pretty much do what you want. Now underneath all of this, you do still have a fully printed rubbery style undersuit. It's not the usual type of rubbery material that, say, Hot Toys would use, so none of this should crease. I have had various limbs bent on Toysera figures for quite some time, and I haven't seen any damage. Plus, I love the various textures and sheens at play here. They could have left that completely undetailed, but I'm really glad they didn't. Now lastly, coming down to the boots, it of course is a split cut boot design, and I love that it's weathered. The boots down below do have even more weathering towards the tread, and yes, you do have some detail on the underside. Overall, this might just be the closest 1/6 scale Toys era product that I would ever say has come to being an official product. It feels that darn good in hand. Now for a quick side-by-side comparison, here we have Ronan alongside the Guardians of the Galaxy from the first film. Now right off the bat, I apologise for Groot's facial expression. His other faces were somewhere buried deep in storage in his box, so I had to go with this one. Either way, Ronan looks right at home alongside the rest of the Guardians. He is, however, at least for me, potentially slightly too short. As I said earlier in the video, Lee Pace is a pretty darn tall dude, and I'm pretty sure none of the rest of the team are quite as tall as he is. Plus, I know I'm not the only one who likes my villains being super tall and imposing, and I definitely got that vibe from Ronan in the movie. Either way, if that's not something you personally really care about, then yeah, he definitely looks right at home alongside the rest of the Guardians. Next up, here we have Ronan alongside Captain Marvel, because yes, technically he was in her movie. Now he is significantly taller than her, and once again he doesn't look all that out of place. This costume is super well done, so it meshes pretty much perfectly alongside your Hot Toys figures. Just going over articulation on Ronan. Now bear in mind, this is my personal copy of the figure, so I'm going to be a little bit more careful. I'm sure when you get yours in hand, you can push the joints slightly further than I'm willing to go. Now starting off with the head sculpt, it is on a fixed neck, and then this hood shroud piece is connected to it, so you don't get a ton of range side to side, forward and back, but you do get a little bit of pivot. The arms themselves will go up to there before the shoulder pad starts colliding with the shroud. It does go forward and back, and as you can see, all of this stuff is interconnected, so it does move quite nicely. You do have a butterfly joint at the shoulder, a swivel at the bicep, double bend at the elbow, which does get you past 90, and a regular 1/6 scale wrist peg. Now as for the torso, all of this stuff is very sturdy rubber, so you don't get a ton of crunch, nor do you get a ton of swivel or pivot side to side. The legs themselves will go forward to about there, and hold. They will go out to about there, swivel at the upper thigh, a ratcheted double bend at the knee that does go past 90, and lastly a ball joint for a split cut boot design. Just wrapping up on the Galaxy Warlord by Toys-Era. I love this guy. There's no two ways about it. Toys-Era has done an amazing job once again. I was kind of worried at first because this outfit is way outside of their wheelhouse. Usually they pick costume designs that are just complicated enough, but still simple enough that they can print onto a rubbery suit, maybe with a couple of bits and pieces added to the surface like the Green Goblin, but still not too crazy. This guy is very crazy. There are a ton of different parts and panels and pieces of armor that have to come together to make up the suit. And they've done it. They've absolutely nailed it. It's not just the sculpt work though. On the surface, pretty much every panel has been dry brushed, so all of that sculpted in battle damage and wear and tear and extra detail, it just pops and comes to life. Yes, he doesn't come with a ton of accessories, but he comes with the one key accessory, being of course the hammer. Some effect pieces would have been totally welcomed, but I understand they wanted to pour all of the budget into the body, the sculpt, and the paint applications, and trust me, this figure is all the better for it. He's absolutely the best 1/6 scale representation of Ronan, because yes, there are some other ones, as we mentioned earlier in the video, but this guy is going to be the easiest to find and the best bang for your buck. Now, do bear in mind, it's third party and it's unofficial. That means Toys-Era, the company that made this guy, doesn't hold the correct intellectual property rights to actually make him. Hence, as I said, it's being made in an unofficial capacity. I got mine from Comic Sanctorum. I have included the link down below for your reference purposes only, because don't forget, this isn't a promotional video, this is a review of a product I picked up for my own personal collection. While you are down in the description, why not check out the link to 6 Scale Network, the awesome Facebook group. Come along, chat figures, share photos of your collection, and of course, see what's coming up next on the channel. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.